Okay guys, good evening and welcome to the Thursday Night Racing League. I'm your host for this evening and it is an absolute privilege to actually be here for this round at Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. But tonight it is the Thursday Night League for TNRL. And yes, it is the one and only Hoppers. It is a different voice for these guys into potentially unknown territory for me. So, you know, hopefully it should be very interesting. At the moment, you've got Adam Foster under threat from Marmoletto going in towards the back end of the GP loop down into what looks like would be the, I believe it's the Wellington Straight. Then you have Devilfish under pressure from Depressed Squid at the moment, so Depressed Squid in the Audi R8 gets past Devilfish at the moment. Then you've got Ash 150 followed by Offcut 25, then Game Rhino I believe, and then Mike Bullen in the other McLaren trying to gain onto the Lexus. Then you have Tyshawn Green and then PXD Foley, then Serial Killer, then Clenough, then Mike RJ, I believe that we'll call him RJ, and then PX Alex I believe, and then Full Throttle, then R Harrison, and then MX Beast, and then Volton. And then Serial Killer is obviously in pit lane, and I believe Micah's had a bit of contact there, so the yellow flags are waving furiously. But we are getting ready for obviously a good race evening. You know, it's going to be the first time I've raced, not raced, but commentated on these guys. But it should be okay. So at the moment you've got Depressed Squid in that Audi R8, the black and yellow Audi R8 under a threat from a gaggle of cars at the moment. It is looking like the Devilfish is going to catch him up, and I believe Ash is also there. So it is going to be pretty exciting. Depressed Squid at the moment is trying to eke out that advantage technically as we start going on to the GP loop here. So it's going to be probably very exciting. Silverstone is obviously a technical circuit. Who was that going wide? Was that Ash in the Lexus? Yes, it was. So he's lost a bit of ground from Devilfish and Depressed Squid, which he'll get dropped back into the clutches of Offcut in the Porsche. So there's quite a few drivers that are new to me, and potentially just looking at the back you can see Mike Bullen there trying to put the other Lexus of, I believe that's Gamer Rhino, I'm not too sure, but I'll try and get it correct in 2 weeks time. But at the moment Mike Bullen also under threat from Tyshawn Green in that Mercedes AMG behind him. So Mike at the moment is in 8th place. So you've obviously got the two Mercedes of Tyshawn Green and Foley behind him, so it's going to be very interesting. Then you've got the Porsche of Alex there, potentially trying to chase these guys down. Then you got Clenough in the other Audi R8, so Depressed Squid and Clenough, I believe they're teammates. Then you got MX Beast, or MX3 Beast. And the other Porsche, then you got Harrison in the Ferrari, then obviously Full Throttle in the other Ferrari, followed by a Volton, I believe. Bear with, obviously these guys are new to me, so you know, Serial Killer there in the Lexus, and then obviously Mike RJ still having a bit of issues. Mike's already up into 7th. I do apologise, we missed that move potentially. But I think the timing screen was a bit wrong there. But at the moment you've got Mike Bullen followed by Tyshawn Green trying to chase him down. But at the moment we'll see what's going on further up the road, shall we? Got Devilfish in the Bentley, so the Bentley and Marmoletto. I believe Devilfish and Marmoletto are teammates. I'll have to try and figure it out obviously for next time to see who's who. Ash is up into 4th in that Lexus. So he's, you know, he's lost a bit of ground there. But we'll, at the moment, going back to this battle for the lead, you've got Marmolento versus Adam Foster, so the McLaren versus the Bentley, so the two British cars at the moment. As we see here, Marmolento getting onto the back of Adam Foster for potentially the race lead. It is going to be probably one of the most exciting races. You know, it is looking likely at the moment, but as you can tell, it will be probably interesting. You got 54 minutes, should I say, to go, so it is an hour-long race, so it is going to be pretty much interesting to see what everyone can do here. Obviously, I'll try and give everyone as much airtime as I can, because I think it's only fair. But yes, we've got potentially, just going back at the moment, you've got Adam trying to hold off Marmolento at the moment, where potentially the Bentley's trying to put a lot of pressure on that McLaren. I believe Devilfish is trying to catch up to them. You've got Offcut and potentially Gamer Rhino, but Gamer Rhino's under a lot of threat from Mike Bullen at the moment, so the Lexus at the moment is going to be looking likely. Is it going to struggle, or is it just going to carry on being hunted by Mike Bullen there in the McLaren? As you can see, Mike is trying to push on. He's obviously knows his way around here. He's obviously done a lot of mileage, and then obviously with Foley behind him, and obviously we've lost. I believe we lost the Mercedes of Tyshawn Green, which is now down in 13th place. But Press Squid at the moment trying to have a bit of a battle with Foley going in towards the Wellington Straight. It is going to be probably one of the closest and probably the most action-packed grids I've ever seen on Assetto Corsa. So it will be probably down to, as the Press Squid runs a bit wide onto the grass, you can just see technically Foley trying to have that place from the Press Squid at the moment. It's going to be very much interesting to see what he can do, whether he can push on and potentially get further up the field. But at the moment it is looking likely that I believe, you know, even though the timing says it's a bit wrong, it still says that this Press Squid going onto another lap is now in 8th place. But we'll go through the field as much as we can. Obviously you've got Alex there, I believe, in the Porsche, potentially chasing down these two guys, so the Press Squid and of course Foley potentially trying to push on and trying to get away from him. Also, I believe just going up the road slightly, Mike Bullen there, still in 7th, potentially trying to get up to Gamer Rhino. I'll have a look what Clenough's doing. Clenough is under from MX3 Beast at the moment, potentially for 11th place at the moment, so they're going down the Hanger Straight, potentially a bit of moments there, but Clenough's slowly but surely getting away from that Porsche, but that Porsche is still there and he's trying to get past him with great ease. But obviously Tyshawn Green is also lurking in the background. Excuse me as I cough down everyone's ear. But yeah, Clenough is trying to escape from MX3 Beast at the moment, and Tyshawn Green also, as full throttle runs a bit wide going out of that corner down to the straight, and it's going to be potentially going to be easy said than done, but is it going to be interesting within each as their own? But as you can see, Clenough MX3 Beast, Harrison is also there, and then you've got full throttle Yvolton just coming out of shot there, and then Serial Killer rounding up the field. So we'll try and see what's happening, but at the front at the moment, Adam Foster is still under a considerable amount of threat from Marmoletto. So the Bentley's trying to put a pressure on that McLaren there, potentially the number 4 machine versus the number 28. So it's going to be very much interesting with just under 15 minutes to go now. It is going to probably be close in a moment or two. You've got Devilfish potentially pushing on as well, but at the moment there is a battle, sort of a battle now brewing. I believe Depressed Squid now has got onto the back of Mike Bullen, so Mike Bullen's got the Audi R8 behind him. He's going to have to watch his mirrors because he's obviously got that Audi R8 right, filling his mirrors left, right and centre. And it's going to be probably one of the most interesting battles as well. As I say, it is going to be probably amazing. But we do have potentially some, I believe there's been a bit of a change, am I correct? I believe they've got 2 compulsory pit stops to make with it, because with it being an hour race. But at the moment you can see we're fully under threat from the Porsche of Alex as well in the background. We'll try and see what exactly goes on up the front with everyone else, but you know it's going to be very close. Mike Bullen at the moment trying to push on to the back of the Lexus as well, at the same time as well as trying to defend from Depressed Squid in the Audi R8. So obviously the number 3 and the number 11 and also the number 6 car potentially in a lot of a bit of a battle, but Mike's getting closer and closer to obviously the back of that Lexus as well as that Audi R8 filling his mirrors. So we're just seeing exactly what's ongoing potentially with what you see here. Mike Bullen's trying to defend with that Audi R8 of Depressed Squid behind him, potentially going to push on and see what he can do, but I'll try and see exactly in a moment or two. But you've got Gamer Rhino, I believe, potentially in that Lexus trying to hold off Mike Bullen as Mike Bullen goes into Cop's corner and potentially pushes it very onto the limit, I believe, and he's obviously trying to get that move done because he doesn't want Depressed Squid all over his back bumper. Potentially he wants to put a car between him and Depressed Squid at the moment, but Mike's got the lights on to say, come on mate, out my way, you know. But Depressed Squid's also there. He's looking likely, he's going to be looking very racy at the moment, you know. He's obviously on a move, he's on a massive charge by the looks of it, whereas I think Mike Bullen's trying to hold off very cleverly there. But you've got Gamer Rhino potentially pushing on. Mike Bullen's also doing exactly the same, but is Gamer Rhino going to defend for Mike Bullen? Mike Bullen gives him a tap. Oh, that almost ended in tears, but it's fair play. Mike Bullen was giving the place back. That's dropped him now down potentially a few places, so we see now Depressed Squid in that Audi R8 potentially now up into, I believe it's now 6th place, and then you've got Raffoley and obviously Alex moved up 1 place as well. We'll go back to the battle between Marmoletto and Adam Foster. At the moment it probably will be very interesting to see what happens, but you've got Marmoletto there getting a bit of wiggle out of bit out of shape, should I say, going into potentially a lot of the back end of the circuit, going about to start another lap. So it is going to be all or nothing potentially for Marmoletto if he can get past the McLaren at the moment. But obviously it looks like Adam Foster potentially he knows this circuit at the back of his hand as well, but it is looking like the Devilfish also is going to try and catch up. He's about 3.4 seconds behind Marmoletto, but you can see exactly what is going to happen. I believe Offcut and Asher are having a bit of a battle, so the Lexus versus the Porsche versus the Lexus, that's going to be pretty much interesting coming into play, this battle. Obviously it is looking likely, you know, like I say, Depressed Squid now has that advantage potentially now from Alex and Raffoley. I believe Raffoley now has got Mike Bullen filling his rear mirror full of McLaren there, looking at obviously what's happening on between obviously the Mercedes versus the McLaren. So it's the new Mercedes versus a McLaren, so it's going to be very much interesting to see what happens there. But we'll have a look at also what's going on. I believe Gamer Rhino potentially just pushing on a bit away from Tyshawn Green in that black and green Mercedes there. Then you have MX3 Beast in the Porsche trying to push on as well. Then you've got Clemeth in 13th. Then you've got R. Harrison followed by Full Throttle. I believe these two are teammates, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure the guys will help me out sometime soon. But potentially will be very much interesting to see what happens. Obviously you've got your Volt on, or oh, he's gone off there. He's made a bit of a mistake going down towards, I believe that's Maggot and Beckett there. So yes, he's made a bit of a mistake. Then you got Serial Killer. So we'll see what's happening up front. Marmoletto has dropped back slightly from Adam Foster, but Adam Foster actually goes into pit lane just as I see him go, Marmoletto go round the final corner, as he now fires his way into potentially Cop's corner, potentially now in the lead now from his teammate Devil Fish, and obviously Adam Foster and Ash is also in pit lane. Depressed Squid also there at the moment, so there's a couple of guys will move up a couple of places. I believe Mike Bullen now jumps into pit lane, so it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys can do. And it is going to be very much interesting. The teams are going to have to work extremely hard. They've got obviously 2 compulsory pit stops to make, and it's going to be very much interesting whether they take tyres or fuel, depending on obviously driver's preference. So we've got 43 and 25 seconds to go in this race here this evening here at the home of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And yes, it is a different voice in the commentary box. Most of you guys probably thinking, who's this guy? But yes, I am Hoppers and I've been asked to commentate. So I hope you do enjoy the stream, guys. Please do like and subscribe to Hoppers Motorsport vlogs as well. But also do check out TNRL Thursday Night Racing League, either on Facebook. I'm not too sure what social media is, but you know, if you do know what they're on, please do check them out, and obviously do recommend that you get more exciting races. I believe Marmoletto there is getting away from his teammate. He's 2.2 seconds, but you can see Devilfish slowly but surely getting involved in the battle. It is going to be probably very interesting. I believe off-cut there in the Porsche, potentially trying to push on as well. You got Depressed Squid, Alex, and then you got Raffoli, and then you've also got Gamer Rhino, MX3B, Clenough. He's also now trying to escape from R. Harrison, but you've got, I believe, R. Harrison there under threat from Full Throttle's Devilfish, according to the graphic, has jumped into pit lane, so it is going to be pretty much interesting. It will be probably quite interesting. So we've got just under 42 minutes remaining, and it will be very interesting. Got Full Throttle potentially now pushing on Tyshawn Green in the background. So that green and black Mercedes AMG is trying to also latch onto the back of the Ferraris as well. I believe Devilfish's pit stop is going to plan. I'm not too sure, but you know, we'll see exactly what happens with these guys. But it should be very much interesting. I believe Tyshawn Green has jumped into pit lane, so Offcut jumps up into third place just to get, so it's Depressed Squid catching up. Adam Foster there potentially now going to be pushing on. Ash there as well, doing exactly the same. He's going to push on. White Bullen just going down the Wellington Straight now, potentially in 15th place at the moment after having a bit of contact with Gamer Rhino. And then you've got Volton, I believe, or Volton. I'll have to try and get people's names right as of next week. Not next week, 2 weeks' time, as I say. But it's going to be very interesting. Serial Killer there, potentially trying to push on as well. But at the moment, Marmoletto leads the race, followed by Offcut, followed by now Depressed Squid. So Depressed Squid in the Audi R8, after making some epic moves earlier on, potentially going to be pushing on. So I believe they're all spread out slightly at the moment, but I believe there is a battle between a couple of Ferraris at the moment. So Full Throttle and Harrison potentially pushing on. I believe it is going to be very interesting. I believe we have lost. I'm trying to think who we lost, because he's not showing on the graphics. We did believe we lost Full Throttle's potentially Full Throttle's teammate. He's obviously out of the race, so Alex jumps into pit lane, which is allowed now potentially Raffoli up into 4th. Marmoletto there in the Bentley potentially pushing on, so Tyshawn Green rejoins in 17th place. There is quite a few people that have dropped out, because we did have quite a few, so it's looking likely that a few have had issues at the moment, or they've had too much damage and they can't continue. But at the moment, looking at Marmoletto, they're potentially escaping from Offcut in the Porsche there, so he's got a bit of time to catch up there, so potentially he's about 12.1 seconds from Marmoletto at the moment. The Press Squid in the number 11 Audi R8. So you've got a few guys making their pit stops now, so as I say, it is going to be very much interesting, but it is going to be very much on charge. Clenough there in the Audi R8 up into 6th, and then obviously Adam Foster, the first of the early stops, up into now 7th. Currently trying to escape from Full Throttle. Devilfish there also in 9th place at the moment, followed by Ash, but Marmoletto now jumps into pit lane. Is that going to give Offcut the chance to lead the race? Yes, it is. So Offcut comes around Luffield now to potentially take some point for leading the race, I believe. But it is looking likely it's going to be very interesting indeed. There's not much really battle-wise, but we'll just try and keep an eye on what everyone is doing at the moment. I believe Devilfish there is trying to still chase down Full Throttle in that Ferrari. You can just see there potentially the Bentley trying to chase that Ferrari down. It's probably going to be not long before Devilfish actually catches him up. I believe Mike Bullen now is in 11th still. Yes, he is. He's up into 11th. So he's going to try and push on in that McLaren. You've got Alex there potentially also trying to now chase down Mike Bullen, but Mike Bullen's about 22.5, should I say, from Alex there. But you can see Mike Bullen there in the McLaren potentially pushing on. Gamer Rhino exactly doing the same, and I believe Full Throttle now has gone into pit lane, so has Clenough, so it is going to be very much interesting. So Adam Foster straight away back up into 6th place, but at the moment you can just see, according to the graphic, Marmoletto and of course Devilfish are potentially now going to be battling, so the teammates are going to be battling yet again, and it is going to be very much interesting to see exactly what happens. But obviously Marmoletto, but it is going to be very much interesting. But to press Squid up into Luffield now, potentially. What's he gonna do? Oh, he dives to pit lane, so it is going to be very much interesting. We'll go back to that battle between Devilfish and Marmoletto. Potentially seeing what Marmoletto can do. Can he escape from his teammate, or is he going to do but it is going to be very much interesting. You got Devilfish chasing down Marmoletto with 35.5 minutes to go. It is going to be very interesting. As I say, you've got Adam Foster potentially also trying to push on potentially. It is going to be all or nothing for Adam Foster. As I say, Marmoletto is under threat from Devilfish at the moment. I do apologise, I was just trying to see exactly what was going, but it will be probably that Devilfish catches up to Marmoletto in a moment, going through Maggots and Beckett's, but looking likely the two Bentleys are going to probably have a battle, so it's going to be very much interesting. You've got Mike Bullen there up into 9th, obviously Alex there in 10th, Gamer Rhino Serial Killer is 12th, Clenough up into now 13th, Tyshawn Green in the AMG, potentially got R. Harrison behind him at the moment, but potentially it's not that as bad, but he's only 1.8 seconds behind, but I believe R. Harrison has run a bit wide going into Luffield there, so it's going to be very interesting. Full Throttle, that's okay, and I kind of know who's who now, so you know it's good. Then you got Volton in 17th, but I believe Marmoletto is now still trying to eke out 6 points. He's about 1.072 from his teammate there, Devilfish at the moment. Off cut there, potentially cutting through the field like a butter through a knife, should I say. But you know, he's going to probably about to put a lap on R. Harrison, potentially, as R. Harrison, I believe he ran a bit wide going out of Maggots and Beckett's down the hangers straight there. So Adam Foster up into 3rd place at the moment with a bit of a gap between obviously MX3 Beast. I believe Marmoletto now has that advantage, potentially still trying to push on, but he's about 8.3 from Adam Foster at the moment with another round of pit stops to play for. So it is going to be very much interesting to see what happens come the latter part of the race. But we've obviously got 33 minutes to go, but it is looking likely the Press Squid is about to put a lap, I believe that's put a lap on your Volton or your Volta. It's so hard to remember who's who, but hopefully we'll get the hang of it. But at the moment we've got 32, coming up to 32.5 minutes to go, so it is probably going to be halfway through the race very shortly. I believe Mike Bullen in the McLaren still trying to push on there. Yes, he is. He's obviously doing quite well, but I believe everyone apart from Foley now that jumps into pit lane has done their first compulsory pit stop. You've got Serial Killer potentially now up into 11th, then you've got Clenough there in the LDR 8, Tyshawn Green, followed by R. Harrison, Full Throttle and Volton in 17th place at the moment. But Marmoletto, just going back to Marmoletto slightly, he's about 1.128 from Devilfish at the moment. Devilfish potentially trying to push on and trying to see exactly what he can do, but obviously off cut there he's also yet to make, and so is MX3 Beast. Potentially they're going to try and push on. They're probably on a strategy that's going to be very much interesting to see what the two Porsches can do. I believe they're teammates, yes they are, because they're in the same colour car, so it's going to be very much interesting to see what they can do. Are they on the same strategy, or are they on a total different strategy? But we'll soon find out. But obviously Adam Foster there in the McLaren trying to eke out that advantage, potentially trying to chase these guys down, so as soon as these guys pit in front of him he will try and get back up into the lead of the race. You've got Marmoletto there still trying to obviously chase down Adam Foster, then you've got Devilfish, then you've obviously got Ash, potentially the Press Squid, then you got Mike Bullen and obviously Alex, followed by Gamer Rhino. I believe Gamer Rhino now has, oh, who's that going slowly? That's Steve Volton getting out the way. So obviously the Lexus trying to get out the way of the leading pack. And obviously you've got Serial Killer in the other Lexus. There's quite a few Lexuses, quite a few cars in the field this evening, so we've got Clenough there potentially eats out that advantage from Tyshawn Green, so it's 2.078 at the moment from Tyshawn Green. Then got R. Harrison and Full Throttle potentially having a bit of battles galore here. It will be very much interesting to see what happens so we are now very halfway through the race. As I say, it is going to be very much interesting. So it is full throttle now, going to catch up to Racing Harrison. So I'm going to call him Racing Harrison just for the sake of it, but you know, it will be very much interesting to see what happens here. But full throttle at the moment, is full throttle going to put the throttle down and potentially chase after R. Harrison, potentially for 14th place. At the moment you've got Raffoli. Raffoli's made a mistake going into the field. Has he had damage or has he just made a mistake? It's hard to tell because obviously it is looking likely. I think he's okay, but he's lost a bit of ground there. But Offcut now jumps into pit lane, which now gives the lead to MX3 Beast. So MX3 Beast now will probably pit next lap, but we will see. It all depends on the skill of the driver. It also depends on how the drivers feel with their strategies, obviously. Marmoletto potentially now trying to chase down Adam Foster for potentially for second place at the moment. Yes, it is second place. The time screen does kind of not update it now and again. So you got Offcut there potentially. I believe he came out in 5th place, which no he didn't. Sorry, I do apologise. He's with Offcut and Depressed Squid. Yeah, that's Offcut, sorry. And Depressed Squid for 6th and 7th. Depressed Squid actually on warmer tyres than Offcut is, because Offcut has just been overtaken by Depressed Squid going down the Hanger Straight, and that was a fantastic move, I must say. But it is going to be very much interesting. Obviously Offcut there in a Porsche on cold tyres, potentially still trying to push on to Depressed Squid in the Audi R8. So Depressed Squid is going to have a bit of a Porsche in his rear view mirror, and obviously his left mirror, and of course his right mirror. But it is going to be very much interesting. I believe Gamer Rhino there potentially has got Alex also trying to chase down Alex for 9th place at the moment. Mike Bullen up the road in the McLaren. You just see the Gamer Rhino and of course Alex having that battle there. Marmoletto slowly but surely going to try and catch up to Adam Foster. We'll try and go back to that battle if we can, as MX3 Beast jumps into pit lane now. So Depressed Squid got away from Offcut, and then you've got Alex and Gamer Rhino. As we just joined, we see Gamer Rhino get onto the move done onto Alex, potentially going before the Wellington Straight, but Alex is going to try and push on potentially to get that place back there, to get 9th place back. It is going to be probably very interesting. He thinks about it going down the Wellington Straight, going into Brookland. Oh, it's going to be very much interesting. It's obviously going to be very much that Gamer Rhino potentially pushing on. He's going to try and eke out now that advantage. We'll see what's happening with Marmoletto. He's now got a car between him and Adam Foster. Adam Foster now takes the lead of the race yet again, potentially for McLaren. Obviously Tyshawn Green in that Mercedes AMG is going to be a lap down by Marmoletto in a moment or two. But you've got Ash there potentially in the Lexus. He's just Devilfish is just ahead of him at the moment, but Depressed Squid and Offcut there. Potentially Offcut goes off circuit and potentially loses a bit of ground from Depressed Squid. Mike Bullen there in the McLaren, so far 7th. He's going to obviously try and push on. Gamer Rhino is escaping from Alex there. MX3 Beast now with cold tyres after making his pit stop. Potentially going to be pushing on Clenough there. Also now the R8 full throttle. Racing Harrison, as I'm going to call him for now. I do apologise, I don't know many people's real names. Tyshawn Green now has been lapped by Marmoletto. Serial Killer has completed all his compulsory pit stops, so that would leave him to be potentially pushing on. You got Raffoley there, potentially pushing on to get up to the back of Serial Killer there. So you know, and you Volton potentially still 17th. But at the moment, just going back to this battle, Marmoletto flashing lights at Adam Foster as we've got 24.5 minutes to go here at Silverstone this evening for the Thursday Night Racing League, also known as TNRL. And it has been an absolute privilege to be part of the commentary team for this evening. It's something I thought I'd never do personally, but just going to the battle, obviously Marmoletto is trying to eke out that advantage up to Adam Foster, potentially put the McLaren into a bit of a worrying panic moment, just in case the McLaren tries to make a mistake. But Marmoletto in that Bentley will probably push on. Potentially he's gonna try and sneak up the inside, maybe the outside, depending on where Adam doesn't see him. Potentially the rear view mirrors and the rear view mirror, and of course the side mirrors of the McLaren there potentially is going to be very much interesting. It looks like the McLaren's had a bit of panel damage. He's potentially scarred, he's got a bit of paint off, but Marmoletto there potentially pushing on to Adam Foster at the moment. What's Adam gonna do? Marmoletto jumps into pit lane to take his second compulsory pit stop, so it is looking likely that Marmoletto will concede second place to his teammate Devil Fish at the moment, but Ash there will also jump up into third. Depressed Squid will probably jump up into fourth, so it's going to be very much interesting. Offcut there in sixth place at the moment, followed by Mike Bullen. Mike Bullen escaping from Gainer Rhino, or yeah, Gainer Rhino, I believe. Just do correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Followed by Alex. Alex there in the Porsche, potentially pushing on there. MX3 Beast potentially there in 10th, followed by Clenough, and Mike Bullen jumps in to take his last compulsory pit stop of the evening. So some of the guys are making the last compulsory stops. So Clenough there pushing on, potentially in the LDR rate. Full Throttle has got himself into 12th. Tyshawn Green 13th. Serial Killer now potentially escaped from Raffoley. Raffoley's just about there. R. Harrison potentially pushing on for 16th at the moment, and then you got your Volton in 17th, but Devil Fish at the moment potentially, you can just hear the McLaren of Adam Foster potentially ongoing here, but it is going to be very close towards the end. We've got 21.5 minutes to go. It is going to be probably very exciting to see exactly what happens come the end of the race, but I believe just looking up certain battles, I believe, you know, you've got the LDR rate, but then it's obviously looking likely he's going to be putting a lap on potentially with Foley there. So we've got Devil Fish and of course Adam Foster potentially jumping into pit lane for obviously the last compulsory pit stops of the evening. It will be that Ash takes the lead going for a bit of time, but he's about to put a lap on Tyshawn Green for another lap, I believe, so it's going to be interesting to see what the Lexus can do here of Ash at the moment. But as I say, 20.5 minutes to go for these guys. The arms must be aching now, you know, it must be very hard to keep your composure for an hour. Obviously you've got to, with your compulsory pit stops, it must be, you know, what correct strategies you've got to pick, obviously strategies. So it is going to be very much interesting. You've got Offcut versus Depressed Squid So I believe at the moment Mike Bullen there, we'll see where he is. He's in 10th place. As you see, Ash trying to get past Tyshawn Green there to put a lap on him. Is he going to do it this time? Yes, he is. So Tyshawn Green has a lap against him. So you've got Foley potentially now has a gap. Serial Killer has a gap from Foley, and then obviously Harrison and Clem's completed all his pit stops. Then it's Harrison and it's full throttle, and then obviously Yvolton potentially in pit lane. So yes, it's going to be very much interesting. You got the press squid up into 2nd, so he's going to try and push on. Is he going to push on, or is he going to go into pit lane? We'll soon find out with 19 minutes to go. So it is going to look like the press squid is staying up for another lap. Gainer Rhino, I'm going to say now, hopefully if I pronounce it correct, is in 4th. Marboletto still in 5th place at the moment, followed by MX3 Beast. Adam Foster now potentially going to be pushing on. He wants, I believe, there's a yellow flag somewhere in that sector. Mike Bullen up into 9th. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the McLarens can do now they've completed their compulsory pit stop, because there is a few guys that haven't, as Gamer Rhino or Gainer Rhino. There's obviously a car number 11 according to the graphic. I believe that was the press squid. He's had a bit of an off going into Maggots and Beckett, which is a bit unlike him. Well, hopefully he's not too bad. Adam Foster there trying to get up to the back of MX3 Beast there. You got Devil Fish also trying to do exactly the same. MX3 Beast, oh, has he had a bit of issues, or is he just run wide? But he's got Devil Fish in the Bentley. I do apologise, that was the wrong car. But MX3 Beast under threat from Devil Fish in the Bentley. Obviously Devil Fish thinks better of it and potentially decide which way is the correct, but MX3 Beast is potentially still trying to push on. So the Porsche there potentially is pushing on. You've got potentially now Adam Foster up into 5th place, followed by Devil Fish. Now obviously Mike Bullen is potentially, he goes rally crossing now of Maggots and Beckett there. Potentially doesn't want to do that in the McLaren. He wants to try and catch up to these guys. Potentially MX3 Beast there trying to escape, but Adam Foster just looking at the McLaren here. Is he under threat from Devil Fish? Doesn't look like it at the moment with 16.5 minutes to go. So the Bentley versus the McLaren, as I was saying, 2 British cars at the moment potentially pushing on. It is going to be probably exciting. You've got the press squid into pit lane, followed Ash is also leading the race still, followed by Offcut and Marmoletto. So at the moment Adam Foster potentially will probably lead the race depending on these guys' pit stops, but he's got the Devil Fish, should I say, not the press fish, potentially chasing him down as Devil Fish gets a bit crossed up into Cop's corner, which will hold him back now. So Adam Foster will eke out that advantage as they go and put another lap on Yvolton. And MX3 Beast there potentially in that Porsche, probably wishes he never made that mistake or tried to escape. But we've got 15.5 minutes coming up as full throttle. Just caught him going offline, but Mike Bullen there trying to push on. Potentially he's going to try and do what he can do, but it's going to be very much interesting because depending on if Adam Foster can get his foot flat to the floor, potentially will catch up to the likes of Marmoletto. Offcut. Was that Devil Fish going wide, or was that Or was that Volton? It was hard to tell. Oh, MX3 Beast drifts out of that corner there, which I believe the Porsche now is struggling. Whether he's got an issue with his tyre, or he's just suffering slightly. But you know, he's not that far off now to complete the lap. So Adam Foster there in the McLaren, potentially still pushing on, potentially seeing what he can do. Devilfish is also trying to chase him down, so it's going to be very much interesting off-court. And of course Marmoletto, but at the moment Ash jumps into pit lane. Is Marmoletto going to do the same? No, he isn't. He's going to stay out. Adam Foster there, potentially trying to chase these guys down. I believe Mike Bullen up into 7th. It's a good showing from Mike in that McLaren at the moment. It's obviously going to be probably very interesting for the McLaren boys come the end of the race. So Ash jumps into potentially 2nd place, but Adam Foster now also has made the move up into 2nd place. Is it 2nd place? No, it'd be 3rd place, won't it? Because Ash is now dropped down into potentially 4th. So it's going to be very interesting to see. So you got Devilfish there. Who was that offline? Was that Volton? Yes, it was. So Volton's having a bit of a nightmare. So MX3 Beast potentially staying out full throttle there, trying to obviously unlap himself, but Devilfish potentially now 6th, Mike Bullen 7th, with the Depressed Squid in the Audi R8 trying to chase him down, and obviously Gainer Rhino, and obviously Alex there, Tyshawn Green potentially in 11th at the moment, Serial Killer 12th for Foley in 13th, Clenneth 14th, Full Throttle and R. Harrison, followed by Volton are 15th and 16th and 17th respectively. So it is going to be very much interesting as Adam Foster potentially goes down the Wellington Straight. Is Marmoletto and Off-Court going to make a dash for the pits, or are they going to leave it long as possible to potentially cut it fine and try and get a pit stop, the pit stop over and done with? Marmoletto still in 2nd, Adam Foster there in 3rd. Ash is trying to now put him under considerable amount of threat, so it's no longer a Bentley versus McLaren. It's now McLaren versus Lexus. Yes, I do apologise, and they got me words tongue-tied. But Adam Foster under threat from Ash at the moment. MX3 Beast has Devilfish trying to chase him down, and obviously Mike Bullen also there in 7th place at the moment. Depressed Squid exactly trying to do the same to Mike Bullen with coming up to 11.5 minutes to go. We're just looking exactly, seeing what else is ongoing. I don't think really there's major battles at the moment, but as I say, it is going to be very much interesting. Foley there trying to escape from Clenneth, but Clenneth's about 9.5 seconds from Foley at the moment. But I believe Adam Foster now has Ash trying to gain up to him. It's going to be a crossing. It's going to be obviously going to be very interesting coming the end of the race, as I say. But you've got Ash 150 potentially going about that speed, trying to catch up to Adam Foster at the moment. But it is going to be very interesting, because is the Lexus going to be able to catch the McLaren, or is the McLaren going to eke out that advantage and potentially put a lot of pressure? But you've got Marmoletto there potentially trying to push on for staying out as long as possible, probably trying to think, well, strategy is going to be the key. But potentially the Bentley at the moment in 2nd place is doing a fabulous job. But you've got obviously Adam Foster potentially trying to eke out that advantage from Ash. believe MX3 Beast and Devilfish now potentially are having a battle for 5th and 6th. Devilfish thinks about making the move going into Lovefield, which he does, but MX3 Beast will probably have the other line, but looks like Devilfish has the move done going on the start finish line. Obviously MX3 Beast will probably be aware that the Bentley has got obviously a lot more fresher tyres than that Porsche ahead of him. But if you remember rightly, I believe Devilfish pitted a while ago, so we've got 9 minutes and 25 to go. It is going to be a pretty much interesting end to this race as Devilfish goes rallycrossing and goes lawnmowering out of Maggots and Beckett's. I believe we'll just see what's happening further up the road at the moment. I believe Adam Foster there is trying to still escape from Ash in Lexus, so Devilfish now has that advantage from MX3 Beast. Potentially we'll see what happens there. You've got the Press Squid. I believe the Press Squid at the moment, there he is, trying to chase down Mike Bullen potentially for 7th place at the moment. Come the end of the race, it may be very interesting between the Audi and the McLaren, as I say. But you've got Gainer Rhino trying to eke out that advantage. You can see where the cars have been. You've got Alex there trying to obviously still hold on for his Tyshawn Green. Potentially is a bit too far back for him now, so it's going to be very much in 10th place in the back, providing he doesn't make any mistakes. Serial Killer 12th, followed by Raffoli, and Marmoletto now jumps into pit lane, which now will give Adam Foster potentially now 2nd place. And obviously Ash will do exactly the same. He will move up a place, he will jump into 3rd. Devilfish there will potentially come in 2 shots and go into 4th. And then Mike Bullen, if he can put his foot down, depending on what MX3 Beast can do. But obviously it's looking likely Marmoletto in pit lane at the moment, trying to potentially push on. You've got Ash there trying to obviously eke out that advantage up to the McLaren, potentially trying to get another place. But it's looking likely Clenough moves out the way. He's obviously a lap down, which is a bit unfortunate for Clenough this evening, but you never know. But as you can see at the moment, Ash is trying to gain onto the back bumper of the McLaren at the moment. You can just see the anger of Ash potentially trying to literally anguish exactly what he's trying to do. He's obviously trying to put that McLaren of Adam Foster potentially under a lot of pressure. But it is going to be very interesting to see what happens. But is Ash going to be able to catch Adam between now and the rest of the race? Because we're coming up to 6.5 minutes to go. It is going to be interesting to say at least. But you know, with 6.5 minutes to go, it is going to be probably interesting. But you've got Mike Bullen up into potentially now 6th place. He's obviously got that McLaren dialed up very carefully and cleverly done. But at the moment Adam Foster will now take the lead of the race because Offcourt is in the pit lane. So you've got Ash in that Lexus potentially trying to spoil a British manufactured win on British turf. It's probably going to be very much interesting to see Devilfish there in the other Bentley potentially pushing on. It is going to be probably all or nothing, but it is looking likely at the moment. Just going back to this battle, is it going to be very much interesting? But we've got 5.5 minutes, so anything can happen in 5.5 minutes. I don't know exactly what happened to Offcut, but it looks like he's dropped down into 3rd place. He's still got to complete his compulsory pit stop. So that's going to be very much interesting. But we got at the moment going back to this battle between Ash and Adam. It's potentially going to be Ash trying to put the McLaren under a lot of threat. So the Lexus at the moment potentially going to be pushing on to try and take victory away from the McLaren of Adam Foster. But it is going to be quite a thrilling end to this race, I tell you this now. Ash is all over the back of him, potentially filling these mirrors left, right and centre of Lexus, and potentially trying to say to him, you know, you want this win, we'll push for it as well. But at the moment Ash is now trying to eke out that advantage, potentially going down to the Wellington Straight with 4.5 minutes in this race to absolutely try and find what he can do, all or nothing. But is it going to be Adam or is it going to be Ash potentially pushing on? But it is going to be quite interesting. We'll see what's happening further back slightly. The press squid slowly but surely trying to catch up to Mike Bullen. So Mike's trying to escape from the Audi at the moment. Potentially it's another battle that could potentially end in quite a sensationally end to the race. Obviously Marmoletto there now in 8th, followed by Gamer Rhino, followed by Alex and Serial Killer, with Foley there still trying to do his have to do his last compulsory pit stop. Then you got kind of Full Throttle Racing Harrison, as I'm going to call him obviously, and Yuval's on with 3.5 minutes to go. So Ash at the moment potentially, as we join this battle, potentially wants to try and get victory away from Adam Foster as best as he can, but it is going to be very, very interesting at the moment. But looking at what's going on, you know, it's going to be all or nothing. But I believe Ash is trying to squirm that Lexus. He's obviously trying to squirm that Lexus from Adam Foster, potentially trying to get the lead back. He wants to do it with 3 minutes to go. But is it going to be very close, or is it going to be a victory for the McLarens on home turf? We will see. But it is going to be all or nothing. We do have coming up to 2.5 minutes to go though. So potentially these guys probably will be on their potentially now final lap of the race, going into Brooklands and obviously down into Lovefield there. Potentially it is going to be very much interesting. Ash is trying to push on and potentially get up to the back of that McLaren, that orange McLaren in front of the Lexus. He's still trying to be there. With 2 minutes to go, it is going to be very much interesting. I can't believe exactly what I've seen, but it is looking likely that Adam Foster is trying to tell Ash, no, I want this win. But obviously Ash is going to be there. It is looking likely to. Mike Bullen has dropped down to 6th place, but he's got Depressed Squid potentially ahead of him. Depressed Squid at the moment has got past Mike Bullen for 5th place at the moment. Off cut in that Porsche, potentially still trying to push on, but at the moment it is looking likely that Adam Foster will have this win sewn up. Potentially he is looking very racy now. He's got away from Ash. Ash has probably made a mistake, as we're seeing what was happening further down the field. But you've got Devilfish there potentially trying to just escape from Depressed Squid, and of course Mike Bullen with a minute to go. It's going to be very much interesting to see what these guys can do towards the end. It is going to be very close, and it's probably going to be very personal. Depressed Squid potentially trying to get away from Mike Bullen. Potentially the McLaren is probably pushed too much harder now, because obviously he's got Marmoletto trying to chase him down as well. This is going to be very close with 35 seconds. It is going to be probably epic. We'll see what's happening further up the track. You've got Adam Foster potentially now coming into the final part of the race. It is going to be probably very much interesting to see what happens. So Adam Foster will take probably a well-deserved victory in the TNRL Thursday Night Racing League. It will be probably a win for McLaren, as it is. Yes, Adam Foster takes the win, followed by Ash, and I believe off cut there potentially. Is he cut it fine? He's probably cut it fine for his pit stop. I'm not too sure whether the graphic has potentially seen what happened, but he's had a bit of a time penalty onto his race time because of not taking his pit stop. I believe Devilfish comes home fourth. Depressed Squid and Marmoletto finally has got past Mike Bullen for 6th place. So Depressed Squid now in the LDR8, potentially going to be jumping on to 5th place this evening. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, but I believe at the moment Depressed Squid will come home in 5th place, followed by Marmoletto and followed by Mike Bullen. So Mike Bullen will come home in 7th, Gainer Rhino in 8th. So I believe Gainer Rhino in 8th, MX3 Beast in 7th, but he has a 1.5 second penalties due to not taking his last compulsory pit stop, so that's a bit unfortunate. Alex there in 7th place, well done to him. So probably a good race. So I believe Foley will come home in 11th, and it will be potentially Mercedes in 11th, followed by Serial Killer and Clenough, followed by Full Throttle and R. Harrison, and of course your Volton rounding up the field. I believe Foley will probably be looking likely it will be one of them, but it is looking likely that Adam Foster takes the win from Ash, Devilfish, Depressed Squid and Marmoletto and Mike Bullen, after these guys have had a couple of 1.5 second penalties for not taking their compulsory pit stops. So it has been Adam Foster from Ash, followed by Devilfish. Depressed Squid will take 4th, Marmoletto will now take 5th, Mike Bullen 6th, and Gamer Rhino and Alex 7th, 8th. Offcut, MX3 Beast, and of course Foley all not took their compulsory pit stops, the last one potentially doing that. Sadly we lost Tyson Green and Mike RJ in the race, but it should be very much interesting to see what happens for potentially in 2 weeks time. I'll try and remember where we are in 2 weeks time. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be doing the commentary for TNRL this evening. It's obviously going to be very much exciting. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream, and if you do, please do give it a thumbs up and please do subscribe. And obviously if we do have social media for the Thursday Night League, obviously please do go and follow that and potentially do an absolute amazing job, and hopefully I've done an absolute amazing job myself to get this potentially get this race commentated on. You know, we're after a commentator for quite some time, and it potentially was going to be very amazing. I'll see what the comments are, just give me 1 second, just for a moment. So yeah, Elry Stevens, if I pronounce your name right, do tell me, but if I haven't, I do apologise. But yes, it was a great race indeed, and it's been an absolute joy to potentially enjoy it. So thank you guys for letting me commentate this evening. It has been a massive pleasure. But I've been Hoppers for TNRL this evening, and yeah, it's been great. I will see you guys in 2 weeks time, and hopefully it should be a good one. So take care guys, ta-ra.